stvari na oblikovanje novih bankarskih usluga i u stvari bankarskih kartica i proizvoda koji su od koristi preduzetnicama, ženama preduzetnicama. Onda u tom smislu nam je vaše mišljenje jako važno.
Your opinion is very important to us. We will pass through your story and we are going to evaluate some ideas. So there are no correct and incorrect answers. Let me explain to you at the beginning. We are recording everything in order to write a report, but your anonymity is completely protected. We are also streaming because I'm very happy that we have clients who are monitoring the whole interview. So everything is completely anonymous. At the end, everything is destroyed, so it goes in the form of a report, if this is okay with you. Yes, I didn't know that it's going live streaming, but everything is okay. All is okay. And I'm going to apologize because I'm on a vacation in Sicily. Lucky you are. And if you hear that it's crowded, so I'm going to mute in order to avoid crowd. On which side of Sicily you are? In Taormina. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Jelena, and I have been working in this area for 10 years, and I'm qualified for this qualitative research. As a psychologist, I always liked talking to people and write reports. This is something that I do. I'm 33 years old. I'm not married. Why is it so important? General introduction. I'm thinking family, hobby. I'm fan of tango. I'm dancing tango and me bachata. Nice. Can you introduce yourself, please? We have the name. Family, hobby, age. I'm Maria Rashita Vukosavljević. I have a really big family. I have 2 kids. One kid has a daughter, so I'm a grandmother. I'm very proud of it. And I'm vital enough so that I can, so I'm not too bothered with her activities. Speaking about hobbies, I read a lot. My library has more than 4,000 titles. Something that I couldn't take from the library, but I needed to buy. So it means 3 to 4 books a month. For me, it means a lot of reading. Sometimes I'm tired of it, you wouldn't believe. And then it's Sicily. I have 2 dogs, both adopted, saved from the street. And I love animals very much. And all family members. I'm a business consultant now. 2.5 years ago, I set up my own entrepreneur agency. I have a million reasons why it's not limited liability company. Why I did that? Because in previous 3 or 4 companies that I was in senior positions, I came into position that I need to explain to people who are in my who were in senior position in that companies. I needed to explain to them like I do it now when I'm the owner. I had bad experience that I got a director in the position of CEO. I got head of fans, a football club. This was too much for me. Is there anything that you would like to know? I wanted to ask you, as the entrepreneur, you are a one-man show. In my company, there is my daughter. She works with me. She's employed. I have a lot of partners with who I work on different projects. I have a huge network. There are a lot of things that I don't know. And if there is someone who is better, I always engage some company or some external partner. This is how we function. Let's get back to past. You said you used to work for other companies. How you ended up owning your own company, setting up registration? What were the factors that were decisive? In which sense? To set up the company. The key thing was that after 20 years of experience in management and consulting, because I used to work for big consulting companies, AT Kearney or other big companies. After all this experience, I realized that I can transfer huge experience and knowledge to a big number of people. Because people, even when they think they have huge business, they are faced with basic problems. You have companies that have 100 to 200 employees, and then you see that they don't have defined roles among employees, that there is no enough control. And also strategy, business plans they prepare it for the banks, and they never have business plans. They say we know everything, and when you ask them after 5 months what happened with this, they don't remember. My ascending sign is Virgo, and I'm very well organized, so I'm getting really crazy if there's no good organization. In the previous company, I developed business from scratch. The only condition is that other people do not meddle. I did it. Even during COVID, I was working, we were getting projects. And then in the middle of the pandemic, I decided, when something's changed, I decided to set up my own company. Also, this period of COVID, we were more nervous and tense. Maybe when we were talking about this, it wasn't evident, but people were afraid that they would lose work places. But we don't have all the tensions, we don't have enough work, we don't have enough profit. How we will reach new clients? It made huge tension in companies. And many companies fired a lot of people because they were not sure that there would be enough work in the future. So it made a huge tension. Maybe it wasn't happening in your company, but you heard from others, and it made huge problem, which made people very nervous, intolerant. They acted completely differently, and it changed us a lot. We are completely different since 2020. I'm talking about us personally, because we have different experience now. So this is, I set up the company. the setting up the company, the procedure and everything, technical things were easy for me. I had experience in this. Financing of the beginning of business was from my personal funds. I didn't want to take any grants, loans. I can talk so much about why I didn't take anything. Very fast I got to some to zero, and then the business became profitable. I wasn't thinking about this transfer while I was working for other company because I was really dedicated to it.
Da bi mogla ponovo da otvorim svoj privatni biznis i da neke druge stvari radim. I nisam iskoristila, na primjer, 3-4 meseca dok sam u radnom odnosu.
I didn't use 3 or 4 months while I was working for other company to prepare myself for my own business.
Nisu bili preveliki troškovi.
But I didn't have huge expenses. So the initial capital was your capital. Yes, and I returned that investment. So it's nice to hear it, to develop. And the clients with who you are working, are those legal entities, international, domestic? Mostly these are legal entities. For small and middle-sized companies, I'm consultant. So I don't have this fiscal cashier, which means that I don't work with natural persons. So legal entities are important, our clients. Because I have online educations on Instagram, still these are 99% are legal entities.
Tako da to su uglavnom klijenti. Ono što sam ja imala sreću je da ja jako veliki...
I was really lucky to have a huge number of contacts. I can easily represent myself. People were a bit surprised because they wanted to engage me to work for the companies. I said, you can engage me through my own company. I don't want to work for other company. Rules are important to be respected, but I wanted to work only for myself. I'm really diversified, meaning what is a part of my consulting, sales, different ideas, marketing. It's vast portfolio of what I know. Great. Those are very, very creative methodologies. Everyone is different. You need to get acquainted with a client. Even when I'm engaged to deliver some education or lecture, I don't like a lot of people in the audience because you cannot understand what is the problem of that person, like when you are one-to-one. Yes, I understand. Based on your experience, what are today the problems for female entrepreneurs? Your company is very young, 2.5 years. What are initial challenges and what are the challenges that come later? Well, I will tell you, today's consulting, which I didn't charge for that because it wasn't easy for myself, but it was elementary. The person who asked me for help didn't know how to register her own company, and the accountant didn't know to explain to her under which business code to register the company. So this is one of the problems when you start setting up the business. The second thing is initial capital. In our case, I could talk a lot about this. There's option to be self-employed. There are a lot of women that go into entrepreneurship. And there is this option of self-employment for which the country gives certain funds. And this is completely okay that someone uses those funds. There are certain conditions. What is not okay is that many of them start with entrepreneurship without idea what they're going to do, and they don't have any experience about creation and managing the business. Because business is not a product that you have, business has million ingredients in itself. So it's one part of this that I'm talking, that when I'm talking to people, I say you're a technician, you opened up your company, and then you come into a situation that you need to think about million things, and this is how you destroy your business. You don't know many things. You know that only a small number of companies survive after first year. So this is one of the first reasons. Initial capital is rarely enough to help you. You cannot survive a lot without making profit. So if you start making mistakes, that leads you in loss of business. I'm not talking only about financial problems, there are consequences. So business dies and under inverted comma you die before the business dies. And some things are also other important. I'm talking about women. Balance is important between private and business because we want to achieve everything. It's hard for us to prioritize when it comes to us personally.
Treća stvar je, evo sad je zakon o preduzetnicama, o bolovanju i svemu ostalome na trudničkom bolovanju i plaćanju trudničkom bolovanju za preduzetnice. Mislim, sad će. To je jedno, da kažem, preduzetnice sreću, mlade žene koje ulaze u posao. I drugo, treće, ajmo i četvrto, kako god, više ne znam, dok sam stigla po redu. Ti imaš porodiljsko bolovanje. Nije to jedini problem. Da ti imaš biznis koji podrazumeva da je preduzetnički biznis, da, i u kome si ti jedini zaposleni. Znači, kad si na bolovanju, nije dobro, kad bilo... Jer si izjednačio biznis, to sam ja. A to ne bi trebalo da bude, to je samo tvoje radno mesto ako je to tako. Samo što ne radiš kod nekog drugog, nego radiš u svojoj firmi, što je najgore moguće. Eto tako, to je ono što ovako...
Jedan odgovor ekspertski, hvala na to.
Hvala vama na strpljenju da čujete od početka do kraja.
Tako ste sistematizovali sve. A nekako iz vašeg ličnog iskustva, vi ste ipak nekako žena sa iskustvom, sa karijerom. Šta je vama bilo možda izazovno i šta je izazov sa kojim se vi susrećete sad? Verujem da kao...
Uvek vam je izazov. Vam je
challenge for you, clients. The challenge is it's not always what you know, this what the client needs. And regardless of how much I know that, when you become the business owner, when you offer service, it's hard for you to make distance. So I'm changing, I say I change the heads. It's always hard to find the clients. The process is lengthy. Even when you are selling physical thing, the process is lengthy. And to overcome this lengthy period is very challenging. And that period of financing is very important. I'm not talking, I'm talking generally, because not every person has financial funds to survive this period. So grants, help from banks with no high rates, interest rates would be really helpful. Money was really cheap for a long period. But when you are not sure that you will go above the water, then you are afraid to take any loan. Today everything happens, so the situation is not like it used to be 40 years ago. Today bailiff comes, public bailiff comes and takes everything 4 times more than you.
To neko netraženje finansijske pomoći od banaka, kao finansijskih institucija koje bi
why entrepreneurs don't ask for help from the banks. They should be your partners, because you are on the
baš ste to nekako lepo rekli. Nekako nema tog partnerskog odnosa, nego nekako kao da su suprotne strane.
sides.
Biznis. Ja sam jedno jako kratko vreme bila savjetnik u banci, to mi je mnogo koristilo u smislu da nisam ja njih savjetovala o bankarskim proizvodima, naravno, ali sam mogla iznutra da vidim kako to funkcioniše. I bilo mi je potpuno jasno šta tu fali, ali tu je baš mnogo bilo pomoći.
A da vas pitam nekako, šta biste rekli, šta je vaša najveća snaga kao preduzetnice, a šta je možda neki prostor gde biste voljeli da budete osnaženi, gde onako imate još prostora, ne znam,
Let me ask you the support.
Razvoj.
What would be interesting for you personally?
Ovako, šta je moja najveća snaga bilo kog preduzetnika? Je najveća snaga
što
može brzo da se menja. Shvati trenutak i pravac kojim treba da se promeni. Kad su velike firme u pitanju, one zahtevaju velike pripreme, koordinaciju, različitim nivoima, po horizontali, po vertikali, do
not so fast. So there is a year until something changes in the company. And in case of entrepreneurs, in case where you have one owner and maximum 10 employees, communication and changes of directions and everything is much easier. This is my advantage and advantage of any entrepreneur, to adapt to different situations of the market. There I need some support, empowerment. In my business, networking is empowerment, not only with specific persons, but also with organizations. When I'm talking about this, I have 1,000,001 example that this is very hard. I think it's equally hard abroad. Some organizations are open to involve you into their work, to help them and to help yourself. But other organizations are really full of stereotypes and closed. Some international organizations through which we see there are a lot of grants, I can tell you, it's really hard work. For me, it's hard, and I can imagine for someone how hard it's for someone who has never had such a conversation to reach someone
neki UNDP, neki
in USA, UNDP, in some organizations that are international, that are really present here,
napravite nekakvu komunikaciju da vas
and to reach them, to talk to them, to be involved in some project, it's really hard to propose some project.
Je kod nas jako zatvoren.
That part of networking is very closed. Even big organizations are really closed.
Uglavnom je
They're
usmereno
not directed to small and middle-sized
i velikim firmama,
companies.
koja ta udruženja,
They are directed and focused on big companies, big organizations.
Najgrublje
benefit. This is roughly said. 50 small entrepreneurs is maybe like one who sits in their boards, management boards.
Da prosto taj način dolaska do većeg broja ljudi i prezentovanja onoga što znate.
That way of networking, involving into networks, it's really hard.
Da vas pitam, vi rekli ste nekako, tu ste vi, tu je vaša ćerka.
You said it's you and your daughter.
Poslovanja, kad razmišljate o
I want to
spektru,
ask you about financial aspects of your business. When you're thinking about sales, about purchases, business, about banking, accounting, is that what you do, or you have outsourcing services? Speaking about accounting, this is outsourced. Speaking about budget planning, financial management, I do it by myself because I know to do this.
Broj firmi koji su malih firmi, koji su moji klijenti.
A lot of small companies that are my clients, they don't know to do it. The first step in this case is business plan, a strategy, what will happen in 3 years, budget planning. This is what I do
onaj obavezan aspekt knjigovodstva.
For myself in my company.
Ja to ne znam, niti ću se petljam ikad u taj posao, knjigovođa nisam, ali i mislim da je to prva stvar koju većina firmi uradi. Znači jedina osoba koju on zaposli ili angažuje stvarno je neki knjigovođa.
Jasno.
Koji prosto mora da vodi računa.
Who needs to take care of finances. It depends on what you are asking from the accountant. But in your experience, and in the case of smaller companies, the first thing that is outsourced, it's accounting. Yes, absolutely. What I'm asked by many people, and I cooperate with a lot of people who deal with this, is the way of financing sources for different companies, small companies.
Kod nas postoji puno izvora finansiranja.
There are a lot of financing resources. I can't remember now. A development fund, Ministry of Tourism. I don't know the whole name of the ministry. Ministry of Education. There are various kinds of financial sources for which it's easy to apply. The Republic of Serbia.
Različita sredstva kada si mali, pogotovo vlasnik kao žena, u malom biznisu, Vojvodina i sam grad Novi Sad imaju daleko više izvora finansiranja.
Province of Vojvodina. I think more options for
Srbije, ja ne znam zašto je to
financing.
Se radi o količini raspoloživih para da bi mogla država ili grad da u nešto uloži, ali u centralnoj Srbiji je to dosta skučeno. Postoji, znači, postoji puno povoljnih tih izvora, to vam je do 10 do 15.000 eura, za koje imaš neku dokumentaciju, možeš da imaš biznis plan, naravno možeš da imaš plan šta ćeš da radiš i nije sa previše dokumentacije, u tom smislu je dosta povoljno i može se lako aplicirati. To sve nisu banke, znači to su sve državna sredstva, da, fondovi i državna sredstva i u tokom godine ih ima više. Ono što ljudi, odnosno privrednici ne rade, odnosno mali preduzetnici ne rade, to je ne uključuju se u projekte koji su od strane međunarodne zajednice finansirani i gde oni...
There are a lot of projects financed by international community. So everything is connected with networking because you as a small cannot apply for some things, but as a small and big project, you can get your position and find the financial sources. There are many projects that you can take participation in this. These are big funds. So now I'm listing all the possibilities that is available for an entrepreneur. I'm not talking about banks. These are things that entrepreneurs are not thinking about. Whenever I work with some entrepreneurs, I'm trying to connect them, and I even come up with a project with idea what they could do. You can do this if there is a call and you can incorporate your idea in that call. There are people who know how to write projects and you give them to write it. But problem is where you have an idea and there is no call on which you can apply with your idea. So this is what I'm saying. You need to find a person who to represent project. So this is very hard. Great, thank you. When we are talking about your position, do you have a need to outsource some other things?
Da, naravno, recimo.
For example, when I do some educations, business educations, there is some program for the part design thinking, which I know, but there is someone who knows this better. I engage her company to do it. When it comes to digital marketing, I engage. I cannot remember the last name of this Landara. I engage her for educations. When I participate in some bigger projects, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of outsourcing opportunities, depending on what we need. We create the best team possible. So these are your partners when it comes to some tasks and educations. And now they create new partnerships. I have a very huge network, and always there is someone who appears who knows something. You're looking for someone who you can trust. This is my following question. How do you choose partners, colleagues on the projects? The fact that I know that they will provide the service and the quality that I expect, and for who I had never had.
To je otprilike prvi uslov koji je meni, da mogu u tu osobu da imam poverenja, da mogu, ne daj Bože, ako se ja razbolim ili nešto mi nije, da neko može da utrči umesto mene. Mi ćemo lako to da rešimo i da sa tom osobom možeš lako posle toga da ispeglaš onaj finansijski deo koji je neminovno posledica u takvim projektima i angažovanjima. Tako da to neko pre svega poverenje i deljenje istih vrednosti je za mene osnov za pravljenje partnerstva.
Hvala. A nekako kad pričamo o nekim vašim aspiracijama i planovima u budućnosti, kako očekujete, ne znam, u narednih godinu, dve da će se vaš biznis razvijati i prosto možda eto koji faktori, trendovi vam idu na ruku, koji ne, prosto koji bi bili neke vaše aspiracije, da kažem.
Ajmo sad ovako, prvo da definišemo biznis. Znači za mene ovo što ja radim je još uvek radno mesto. Bez obzira što ja imam veliki broj saradnika i imam zaposlenog u svojoj firmi, za mene je to još uvek radno mesto. Biznis će biti onda kada ja budem bez ikakvog problema otišla 15 dana na odmor i kada, ja i danas idem, 15, 7 i 10, nije to poenta. Poenta je da ja mogu da kažem ja sutra idem na odmor i da ne razmišljam o tome da će moj biznis, neki projekat ili bilo što se dešava.
When talking about aspirations and plans in the future, I think I need one or two projects, some projects that will start next year, and I guess that I will have one or two employees. This is about internal growth of my company. The other thing is growth of business. I plan to involve more people in the projects. So this is what's going to happen in a year or two. This is great. You are giving very detailed answers. So we are covering everything. Thank you. Now let's talk about financial part. I would like to ask you, do you use cards for your business operations? Do you have business cards?
Da, to sam uzela prvog dana, vezano za...
Yes, I took it on the first day.
Da, naravno, koristim svoju poslovnu karticu.
Je li to debitna ili
Viza? My business card.
Viza je u pitanju. Da, debitna kartica, nije kreditna. Znači, pošto je poslovna, ne može biti kreditna.
Da. A da vas pitam u smislu...
Which card do you use? Visa card. What are the most often transactions that you have? Me as an entrepreneur, I have the right to use my funds unlimitedly. I'm not keeping the books, so I don't need to submit financial statements at the end of the year. I don't need the coverage for the expenses. So in 99%, these are expenses of the company. For example, I buy a computer, printer, or I pay the dinner that is connected with my business. This is how I use this card.
Preklapanja privatni poslovni račun u smislu da se stavlja na privatni ili obrnuto, da nekad stvari koje su vezane za vaš posao platite karticom.
Private cards? No. No, I never pay the business expenses with private card. Sometimes I pay for the private things with business card because this is allowed by the law, but I'm not paying with private budget. my my operations are positive, so I have enough money to cover everything. For now, there is no overlap. At the beginning it was, but then you write, you sign the agreement in which you give the loan to your company. How satisfied you are with the cards that you use? Are there some advantages, disadvantages? Speaking about business, in which bank you are? In Teza Bank. And I will tell you why. Now you went to the last question.
Šta je bilo pitanje? Šta je bilo pitanje? Ponovite mi pitanje.
Koliko ste zadovoljni karticom?
A, da. Karticom sam...
Prednosti i nedostaci.
What was the question? How satisfied you are with the question, with the card?
Ona je debitna.
It would be the same for me if I had a bank from any, if I had a card from any bank, because it's debit card. What goes on my nerves is the commission that I pay for every purchase, 39 dinars. And I'm curious why, because everything is electronic. This is what I don't like. You know what they say, Jews earn from a million people taking one dinar.
Yes. Everything
is the same in all the banks, pretty much.
U poslednjih 12 meseci ili je to bilo od starta nekako konstantno za iste svrhe? Učestalost koju...
Did you change the purpose of card usage in the past? I use it all the time in the same way. I use it in the same frequency.
A da li ste možda videli takvu ponudu za neku poslovnu karticu?
Have you ever seen some commercial or advertisement which would make you motivated to use card in the future for entrepreneurs? Most of people told me they didn't see any commercials or advertisements. Honestly, I haven't seen any commercial or advertisement for the card for entrepreneurs that will bring some benefits. Secondly, what is present in all the banks, and this is why I will say why I chose Intesa Bank, because every bank, when I set up my company, all the banks get information that you set up the company. They have all your details, email, contact, and everything, and they all started calling you, sending you offers. From the beginning, I wanted a different bank, not Banca Intesa, because I'm a multi-year user of Banca Intesa, and I'm really satisfied. Speaking about feedback, speed, everything. So the fact that I wanted another bank came from the idea just to have another bank, not because I was dissatisfied with Banca Intesa. And then what happened? The condition to set up the account was to open bank account for me privately. And I didn't want to have private bank account in that bank. So I wanted just a business account in some other bank.
koji su bili eventualno bolji ili primamljiviji od banke Inteze su imali taj uslov.
So all banks that had better conditions than Banca Intesa, they have this condition. So I put it on the paper and I saw that those favorable conditions would be canceled by the obligations that I would have if I open private account. Then I went to Intesa Bank and I solved everything. As this research is focused on the creation of a business card for female entrepreneurs that will offer additional benefits, I will openly ask you, do you have some idea what would be benefit that would satisfy you with your debit card? I cannot think of any. You know why? I'm not a good person for this. I will have that experience when I enter international projects. Now I will see how fast Bank Intesa is when they need to issue some documents. Because some other bank was recommended to me. They said it would be easier in this international project for me. Probably there is some difference when it comes to international projects, and it has nothing to do with cards. I don't know what they need to offer to me, something innovative to have benefits. There are benefits when it comes to travel. You can collect points, giving you some benefits when you're buying flight tickets. When it comes to rent a car, transfer. Does it sound interesting for you? I cannot give you this answer because I don't use my business card abroad. Those advantages, when you have a card in Banca Intesa, you have million options. They have agreements with other companies that and then offer some advantages to you. In private bank account, I have some benefits. I got a list of partners of Banca Intesa that give us some discounts if we use Banca Intesa card. I have it in my private card, probably because I have been a client for a million years. And I'm some magnificent client. And I took this card and they offered me million services that I have with discounts. And recently I had this opportunity to use this card with discount.
Da sam znala da imam popuste, ali verovatno je to moj propust jer oni pošalju vama na mail.
And I didn't know for which stores I have discount.
Prijavljen kod banke. Hoće da čita koje su sve firme tu i šta su sve popusti, da li ću ja to da koristim ili neću da koristim.
And I didn't invest enough time to read, have
da imam popusta, recimo kupovinu aviokarata, makar u našoj državnoj kompaniji. Naprimer. To bi meni značilo, ja dosta putujem.
O tome stvari pričamo.
Ne sam get a discount on my business airline company. I travel a lot. I drive car. I pay fuel. I don't know how much a month.
Skupljam poene i svako četvrto tačnije gorivo meni džabe. Sad, kada bi banka sa mojom poslovnom karticom imala tu mogućnost, to bi bilo divno. Morala budem član i ne bi morala, znači kad bi oni imali za moju karticu na bilo kojoj pumpi od tih velikih pumpi da ja točim gorivo, tipa ne znam, Eko, NIS, OMV, znači kad bi napravili ugovore takve da skupljam neke bodove i da stvarno mogu 4. punjenje dobijem džabe, kao što ja skupim ili 5. kod NIS-a, većine potrošenog goriva, ja bi to radila poslovnom karticom, ne bi plaćala privatno.
Ok, znači u suštini tako neki benefiti kao što...
So you are saying...
Da, neko je ubacio.
Neko je izjavio da mu je jako interesantno. Možemo mi na engleski da pređemo, nije problem nikakav.
U suštini, da, imamo i to simultano prevođenje u stvari za klijente koji su zainteresovani to da čuju.
Da, recimo to bi meni, na primjer, bilo interesantno. I isto tako...
So these things will be interesting for me.
Bookingom, koji je jako...
As well as agreements with booking, hotels abroad.
Za gradove koji su najposećeniji u Evropi. Ajmo tako.
For the most visited cities in Europe, Vienna, Paris, for example, give us that we have 15% discount with the card of the bank. It's some hotels. This is, you asked me about abroad. Some entrepreneurs travel, some not, but those who travel, for them, this could be beneficial. It would be interesting not only for the gas stations, when I mentioned gas stations. Eco is in Greece, OMV is in Austria, not to give me benefit only in Serbia if I use this business card from Banca Intesa. For example, to give me discount in any country where there is this gas station.
Jasno, dobro. A kada su u pitanju ta putovanja, isto se nudi u stvari...
When it comes to travel, lounge access, airport privileges, this is not something motivating. Because most of travels, when I travel by plane, I do online. The only thing is that I bring the luggage.
Znači, to mi nije problem. Čekam, vidi, mora da sačekate svi da uđete u avion. Tako da...
We all need to wait to enter the plane, so this is not something significant.
Meni sasvim sve jedno.
A to neko osiguranje u...
Speaking about insurance, travel insurance. Oh, yes.
Pošto ja puno putujem i svaki put kad putujem ja posebno plaćam putno osiguranje. I ja imam karticu uz Banke Intesa karticu, ja imam DDoR osiguranje. Barem onako kako su oni meni rekli, moj savjetnik u banci, jer ja sam pitala, ok, imam ovu karticu, da li to znači da ja sad kad idem na put, imam uvek osiguranje? Osiguranje. Ja svaki put kad idem na put, kupujem Delta Generali putno osiguranje, mi to najjednostavnije ide online jako brzo. Dva puta da su mi trebali, ispane usluga bila savršena. Da, to je jedna od stvari. Su jasne zašto ja imam tu karticu osiguranja, ako ja nju ne mogu da koristim i ne koristim je kao putno osiguranje.
Razumem. Znači, to jeste nešto što je, nije dobro.
Nije mi bilo jasno, ja sam lepo pitala. Dobila sam karticu, normalno uz određenu, ide uz American karticu banke Inteze, ide to DDR osiguranje kartica. I ja je imam i nosim sve zajedno, ali mi nije...
Ali fakat uplaćujete putno osiguranje.
Ali fakat za Evropu, da, apsolutno plaćujemo osiguranje.
A neka globalna usluga podrške za korisnike u slučaju izgubljene ili ukradene kartice u inostranstvu. Potrebe za hitnim sredstvima tokom poslovnih putovanja.
O da, to bi mi...
How do you, would it be beneficial if you get assistance in the event of a lost or stolen debit or credit card when you need some emergency funds? Oh yes, this would be beneficial. To have an option to go to some branch office and to withdraw money from some branch office of the bank with which company whose card I have, they have a cooperation with that bank. Yes, I understand.
Koristim ja svoje, nije nebitno je, znači ja se snađem, ali vam govorim kada bi...
I have other cards, but in the case if this happens, if I go with my business card and it happens that I lose it, it would be amazingly beneficial that I can go to some branch office in the network and withdraw money with some code on ATM. So it's probably hard to change those ATMs. They have special softwares, but they can send you on your phone the code and to find some way so that I can get money. I was in IT, so you're full of ideas. It would be really useful. They can call me. The clients can call me.
Planera poslovnog putovanja ili poslovnog konsjerježa, kako to kažu, koliko bi vam...
And if you had concierge services, travel planner, travel agent, would it be beneficial? No, I do it by myself.
Da li bi uz karticu vam značio taj neki benefit da imate neke platforme vezane?
Would be beneficial for you to have access to some platforms, educational programs, some courses, tips?
To je obrnuto pitanje.
That's a reverse question.
To je pitanje za banku.
This is the question for the bank. Whether the bank wants to make a contract with me that all the clients who come to my course and pay with the card of that bank.
To je revizorno, da.
Ne razumem. Ne, definitivno mislim mogu da vas regrutuju, da vas uključe stvarno kao nekog idejnog tvorca ovih nekih proizvoda.
Pa meni su rekli, sad ću da vam kažem šta mi je rekla jedna moja drugarica, ja puno radim i sa nekim firmama koje su, na primjer, u Crnoj Gori i van Srbije. I radili smo neke veće projekte ranije, u posljednjih godinu dana nismo, ranije jesmo. Ono što je ona meni rekla, ti spajaš nespojivo. Ti imaš ideju da na jedno mesto staviš stvari za koje ja nisam mislila da možemo da stavimo na jedno mesto. I da imaš u glavi šta bi, kažu da je to moja komparativna prednost.
Da, i to, ja sam se uverila tokom ovog intervjua, definitivno.
Pa eto. Možemo se dogovorimo posle ovog razgovora da vidimo kome trebaju moje usluge.
Da vidimo kome trebaju vaše usluge, da vas povežemo.
Te vrste. Da, pa evo skoro sam dizajnirala projekat za prekograničnu saradnju, da. Bilo je vrlo interesantno. Uglavili smo čak i naočare, one kako se zovu.
One VR naočare.
Ete.
Ok, a onda su oni imali te neke benefite koje se više odnose na izveštaje o
poslovanju. They had benefits that refer to reports on business operations. I don't
Ne, to meni lično ne.
Onda isto ono, da, možda nekam, ali vama lično.
Meni lično ne, možda bi nekom drugom trebalo, ali ono što moram da upozorim banke je da vi imate jako puno malih besplatnih softvera, pod uslovom da vas je neko informisao o tome.
I don't need, but maybe some other companies would need. But I need to warn.
Jednostavno ubacujete podatak tipa kroz Excel i koji te podatke mogu da vam obrade na ovaj ili na onaj način, dajući vam različite vrste izveštaja. Pod uslovom da su ti izveštaji za vas i pod uslovom da vam trebaju i pod uslovom da još se znate da vam to ne
And which can
malih firmi, preduzetnika ili DO, znači malih, nemaju svest o tome koliko su im važni pregledi i različite vrste informacije o njihovom poslovanju. Ja koristim Excel kao najjednostavniji alat da vidim neke stvari koje su meni bitne.
Use Excel as the simplest tool to see, and when it comes to profile
Ubacujem podatke
of clients. So you need to feed the Excel. When I put the data about clients, this Excel chooses everything and gives me what I need. Sometimes it's better to use this tool than any banking or accounting program because you see it. You see the scales, diagrams, everything if you know to use Excel. When I talk to clients, the first thing is to learn them to use Excel. But many people don't know. They don't know to use the basic things in Excel. Speaking about VAT return, I'm not VAT taxpayer, so I cannot tell you anything about this. Liability insurance we had as well. It would be interesting for you. It would be interesting, but I don't know how it would function in the case of entrepreneurs. It would be one very interesting product. I had that as a company.
I za sebe kao direktora, rukovodeće lice i odgovorno lice u firmi, da, naravno da sam imala. Ne znam kako bi to... Mislim, ja sam jako često kao neko ko je radio u firmi velikoj, bio odgovorna osoba, odgovorno lice.
Usually I used to be a legal representative of the companies I used to work for, so I had insurance. Now, as an entrepreneur, I don't know how this will function.
I o svemu živom, da. Znači, ne znam kako bi banka osmislila proizvod koji...
So I don't know how the bank would create the product that would protect me, because I guarantee with my own property, with my assets. This is different when you have limited liability company. Here, I'm responsible with everything I own as an entrepreneur. In the case of limited liability company, your liability is limited. So this would be interesting to me, but legally this is determined differently. We also had some benefits that refer to negotiations about interest rates, about the rates when it comes to suppliers. Do you use some banking applications? M-banking, of course, yes. But analysis and other things, no. I can suggest to you different applications that are for free to follow the project. Personally, I don't use any applications except for M-banking. If I had 4 employees, and when I start with this international project, I will start using some applications. in order to calculate the profitability, engagement dates of people. So for now, everything is easy. I can speak to Excel. But in the future, I will need to systematize differently, and then I will start using apps. What about courier services? Is that interesting for you? Some benefits when it comes to those companies, courier company? I don't have any needs for this. For those who send a lot of documents, I used to have it in the past. In the past, it was interesting for me it was important for me to know who and for which amount of money works in those courier services, whether it was DHL, oops. For me, it was important for me that I can send information within 24 hours. This was the most important. For me, this was the most important. For me, it was crazy when they say 3 days they need. When they say 3-4 days, I can go by plane, but it was important for me to be delivered in 24 hours. Courier service gives you another benefit, not monetary is not important aspect. As I see, those benefits related to travel are important for you. Fuel, not only inside our company, but internationally. This is something what you would see as a benefit. And liability insurance, 3 things. Benefits related to travel, everything that is related to travel, fuel, air tickets. To decrease expense. The second thing is a case of card loss abroad. And the liability insurance, absolutely. Can you think of anything else now? No, but now you gave me food for thought. God knows what I will come up with. Now we have the part to get back to challenges and problems to you as entrepreneur, to see what is the most important for you. Some mental exercise. We say when, and then we name the challenge I want, and then we give the object or product. And then 2, we name what is the outcome. For example, when I fill out tax returns, I want to get it right so that I don't have to pay fine later. So to make some sentences out of your challenges. You said the market is challenging and financing until the project kicks in. You know what, it would be interesting for me. We'll write a sentence. But I was thinking about something. The banks have a lot of clients, but they do not do networking for their clients. It would be interesting that I get from my bank that in the area which is of interest for me, there are a lot of companies. They see it in the bank to tell me how many companies is opened. for different areas. Because the bank deals with this. This is really fresh suggestion.
Okay. A što se tiče ovih naših izazova,
Speaking about our challenges,
znači da li
Kada uđem u banku, želim da sa mojom karticom
when I enter the bank, I want to be the first in line with my card.
preduzetnike da imate prioritet.
You want priority, you don't want to wait.
Evo zašto ja koristim jako puno automate i privatno i poslovno.
I use ATMs a lot, so I don't go often to bank office because I see a line, and when I know that I will be waiting in the line for 30 minutes. So as entrepreneur, I would like to be able to have priority.
Da to uradiš, a pre tebe je 55 i privatnih i pravnih i privatnih lica, pogotovo što prednost imaju oni koji predaju pasar.
I had this experience that I wait 1 hour in the line.
Meni banka uopšte ne treba kao kuća, kao prostor.
So I said that I don't need a bank like a house, like a space, if I need to wait.
Kada uđem u banku, želim
This is the sentence. When I enter the bank, I want that with my card, I'm the first in the line as an entrepreneur.
Bespotrebnog čekanja i praćenja vremena koje vam je dragoceno. Okay.
Dakle, ubacim karticu, onaj tamo zna kad sam se registrovala da sam ja žena preduzetnik i da zato imam prednost.
So I want when I place my card somewhere that everyone knows that I'm an entrepreneur. It would be nice to have.
Pa jeste.
Mislim drugačije, nekako ipak vi niste isti za banku, jel, kao neki fizičko lice i zašto biste pogotovo...
Because you're not the same as a natural person for the bank, so your nature of business is different and you want to do it fast. This is why I love ATMs to receive the money, also ATMs to receive the money, not only to give you money and give you opportunity to withdraw money, but also to put on the account.
Okay. I imam još samo da prokomentarišemo.
And I only have 2 topics to comment. Do you know about some programs that support female entrepreneurship? You mean banking programs that support or generally?
Mislila sam da ako znate i neki bankarski super, ako ne znate...
Any of the programs that you know.
Pa ja sam na početku rekla da za razliku od centralne, ja se izvinjavam se.
At the beginning? I'm sorry, just a second. For a time, I'm refusing the call. At the beginning, I said, unlike the central Serbia, Vojvodina has more programs that support female entrepreneurship. And really, from the self-government to Vojvodina government and to the cities. In the central Serbia, there are no options like this. If you go to Google and you write support to female entrepreneurship, you will get many programs that refer to Vojvodina. I work a lot in Vojvodina. This is why I know this very well. I will come to idea to move the registered seat of my company to Vojvodina. This is not funny. I'm thinking seriously about this. I like this. I'm from Vojvodina. I'm really serious about this. I have a lot of plans there and I'm thinking about it. And I'm starting with projects financed on the local level. There's also less administration there to achieve some gains in the support. I don't know why this is not happening in the central Serbia.
Da, mislim nekako i ja kroz ovo istraživanje vidim koliko zapravo žene preduzetnice su malo...
I see through this research how female entrepreneurs don't have much options, many options. There's also a lot of interest for this, but if you offer it, you cannot find one information about this in one place, and then a lot of people do not know. I think this information needs to be offered like grants for female entrepreneurship, and to get 10 options that the state offers. You don't get this. Now you get sponsored options and nothing is systematized. And this is really easy and simple because everyone has its own interests when sponsoring. It should be all in Google. Have you ever heard for She's Next program? That Visa offers this program. I don't know about details. It seemed to me that this is for that it is made for the women who have their physical product. I don't know for physical products, finished product. So this is why I wasn't interested in this. The bank didn't give me this information. Through Instagram I got this. Influencers share this information. They were involved in this program, and this is how I got some basic information. And I had the impression that this is for women who have final product, to sell that product. That's why I didn't look at it further. Would you be some member of the International Organization of Entrepreneurs? And I guess that you are already a member. What would motivate you to join? Right at the beginning, I told you what's important for me. Networking. And participation in that organization internationally would be really significant for me, because it would mean bigger pool of clients, potential clients, to share ideas about projects, and it would be really significant for, I think, for majority. But you need to have a mindset for it. You started something. Something that needs more time for me to say why I think like I think, but not a lot of entrepreneurs think in this way. Because you are a one-man show, because this is your workplace and not business. I can talk a lot about this. Yes, to me personally, and to a lot of people, this will be significant.
što vi danas imate kod nas, naravno, različita udruženja koja imaju svoje predstavnike.
But today you have a lot of representatives in the international organizations, which is not the same. I don't want to be a member of the associations with a representative in some international organization. I want to be personally a member of some international association to just make distinction between these two statuses.
Da, mislim da sam vas ovde sve pitala i bukvalno da ova poslednja u stvari sekcija je vezana za neki vaš generalni stav prema bankama.
I would like to hear a general attitude towards the banking services. I would just sum up. You as a business owner, you have an account, a bank account, a card, e-banking. You're the client of Intesa Bank. You're their long-term client, so you didn't get any conditions from them. Like other banks conditioned you to have private account if you want a bank account with them. You are not satisfied with commissions. Is there anything that you would say about Intesa Bank? Some advantages and disadvantages? When I was making decisions to choose Intesa, it was the fact that they had the biggest network of ITMs and offices, bank offices. Some of them work 24/7, so that I don't need to run until it closes. And this huge network of bank Intesa is very important for me. This was the reason. Is there any other bank that you would name as a professional one? Yes. Raiffeisen and Erste Bank. I didn't work with them, but I heard about their services. But now when I enter bigger projects, I will need more broader service from my bank, and then I will see how fast my bank is. For me, what matters is that everything is fast, not to get a paper in 7 days, but immediately, and if you can send me electronically, this is amazing. We all have digital signatures. I don't see why I need to go to bank to sign something physically. So 99% of the things can be done without going to the bank. Is there anything that you are planning to do?
Nešto što bi vam bilo zanimljivo da oni implementiraju. Dosta smo dugo pričale, iscrpno smo pričale.
Something that would be interesting for you in the future?
Pa ne pada mi, zašto mi ne pada na pamet? Zato što kada ste vi preduzetnik, ja sad ne govorim o delu.
Nothing else. Because when you are an entrepreneur and you want to buy a car through your company and you want to take a loan for this, only God can help you. Let's try to focus more on things that are important for people. If I wanted to buy a car now, I would buy it now more like physical, natural person than as a company, like an entrepreneur, because it's really hard.
Da, evo, u tom...
The conditions are hard,
Ali ne razumem.
difficult.
Zašto ja to ne razumem?
I don't understand it.
Ako ste firma,
If you're a company,
vi za vaše poslovanje...
limited liability company, you guarantee only with your founding amount. When you're an entrepreneur, you guarantee with all that you possess, that you own, like a natural person. So what's the problem?
Zašto je to tolika komplikacija kad je u stvari vrlo slična pozicija.
It's illogical. Thank you very much for this conversation. It was really detailed. I have impression that because you're a business consultant, this wasn't just an interview with an entrepreneur, but you gave expert opinion. I hope it wasn't too much. I have impression of expansion of the perspective because you gave your experience and you work with female entrepreneurs. So it was important for us. Thank you for your energy and your knowledge that you shared with us. A colleague will contact you regarding award. I wish you a lot of success with your visions and everything. I have another idea for the banks. As we are approaching the end, why the banks don't connect additional pension insurance with entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs? Because you pay taxes in advance and if you're not keeping the books, you're paying the fixed amount, which is very low. I didn't get any offer for the pension insurance. This is attractive, yes. For example, amazing idea. And this for networking is something that I think can be used. You put a light, shed a light on things that are unclear. When you're on a show, you need to think about many things. Much time is needed when you work with female entrepreneurs to make them start thinking about business, not to think about it as like a workplace. The change of perspective is important. Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you. Enjoy for us. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Recording stop.